Hello, and welcome to my channel where we take old clothes and make it fashion. 2020 was a year of the two-piece kind of garments, matching tops and bottoms. Basically, if you could crop a blazer or crop a top, you could call yourself a designer this year. Today we're gonna do a super elegant version of this trend that you might want to wear for the holidays. Hopefully you have been able to plan something, but of course you can also wear it at home and flaunt it on Instagram.
Yeah, if you have it flaunted.
Still had this grey coat and I bought almost matching grey pants. I know it's not the most festive colors, but this project is going to be quite beginner friendly. If you can sew a little bit, you will probably find a way to follow along. So I'm going to crop the trench coat and use the leftover fabric to make inserts in the trousers and make cute bows. So after marking with the chalk, I'm cropping the coat quite short because I want to have enough fabric to work with. I'm taking my trousers and getting the hem out with my seam ripper and then opening the outer side seams all the way up to the waistband. Ironing all the seams flat again so that it's easier to sew later. So I'm using some water to get the folds out at the hemline because I'm going to elongate the legs as well. So I'm measuring out the side seams and deciding where I want to place the bow and where I want to place the insert. The insert is going to be triangular. So I'm going to make a pattern from it, from this old bag. And look, this bag is from a vintage shop. It says one t-shirt, if you buy it new, it uses 4,000 kilograms of resources. And if you buy a vintage t-shirt, it only uses 30 grams of resources. So that's basically the difference between an elephant and a mouse. So I'm drawing two lines at right angles to one another. I decided the insert is gonna be about 10 centimeters in the bottom. So I'm making sure that the long lines of the triangle are 87 centimeters because that's how long I want them to be in the side seam. And no, the ruler was not long enough, so I'm using my measuring tape for that. It says, create yourself and be nachhaltig. The graphic designer gave up on speaking English halfway through the sentence and he finished it with a German word. So I'm letting my dogs help me with cutting out the triangle. My coat had a slit, I cannot get it out there in one piece. So I'm just sewing two pieces of fabric together to make it long enough. By the way, I can't believe I did not name my dogs in this whole year of 2020. Please let me know in the comments if you have any ideas. And from the fabric that remains, I'm gonna make the bows. I'm not gonna make a pattern because it's just gonna be square pieces of fabric. And yes, there are some things in the way, like the opening of the pockets, but don't worry too much about it. I'm just closing them with the sewing machine. And I'm also using the lining for the bows because otherwise I do not have enough fabric to do it all with the right fabric. So I'm gonna be a good citizen and finish the edges with the overlock machine. You can do this with a zigzag on your normal machine as well.
One eternity later.
Because I got my triangle out of the edge of the coat, it already has a hem, but if yours doesn't, you might want to just fold it in and stitch a hem in there. Because I'm in it to pin it, I can pin it on one side in the side seam and sew it in. And I'm just realizing when I'm sewing it in how annoying it is to get so close to the waistband with the sewing machine. So you might also just close the side seam for 1.5 centimeters and just start the triangle a little bit lower to avoid this problem. I'm gonna leave the last bit open so that I can later pop my bows in there. You can see this thing is growing more hair than myself, so I'm just gonna do all the edges again on the overlock. So for the bows, I'm basically sewing 4 tubes. I'm sewing the lining and the fabric on top of each other and then turning them inside out. Then we're gonna press it flat. You can do a top stitch if you want, but can't be bothered today. So on the pants, I pressed the seams of the triangle first open. Now I'm gonna press them flat again so that it will be a little bit more like a pleat. Now I'm also sewing the straps of the bows in. You could potentially do this straight away, but I wanted to first pin it and see how it looks. So I did a little fitting in between, I just didn't record that. And then we still have the hemline and I have this split there because I did not let my insert go all the way to the bottom. So you can finish the edges with the sewing machine machine, or you can just close them with a hand stitch. Or if you're like a little bit lazy and unbothered like me, I just put some fusible adhesive in between and close it with the iron, and it did the job as well.
Cacao, coffee, curcumin, ginger, dried ginger. You have a bad day, this will pick you up. It's a bit too much cinnamon.
You only have to finish the jacket or trench coat, blazer, crop thing. And I had this waist strap from the trench coat still, but it was really short, so I decided to just cut it in two and sew one part in the side seam and the other one in the middle front, so that I could tie it together without having the strap all around my body. And because it's already so short, I'm just gonna do 1 centimeter of hemline basically. So I'm just folding the edge in 2 times and stitch over it. Maybe I should not have cropped the jacket that much because the buttons were quite in the way, but you learn something every time. For the lining, I'm also folding it in and stitching over it, and then I'm attaching it to the jacket with a hand stitch. I find that much more convenient than doing it with the machine and a little bit safer.
Run.
So voila, that's the outfit. I think with not so much effort it has a great effect. If you enjoyed this video, I would love if you would give it a thumbs up, leave a comment and share it with whoever you think might find it useful. And of course, subscribe if you didn't do that yet. If you're like Inspector Gadget, if you would be like casted for the Devil Wears Prada, I could go straight from the office to the after work champagne event. Can we talk about all the styling options of this outfit, guys? You can layer it with a shirt that you button up totally, or you leave it open, you put your shirt in your pants and it looks different. And then the straps, you can tie them all the way around the leg. You can also tuck them to the inside so that they're not that visible. You can do a bow, you can do a knot, you can wrap them around your boot or ankle, or you just tie the left and the right leg together. I mean, it doesn't make much sense, but you know, in theory. And can you imagine, this outfit is like $6 to make and it looks like $1 million if you ask me.
I got money.
I feel like the business version of a little Christmas angel. I don't know what about you, but I'm quite done with Earth, so I'm flying to another planet now. So yeah, catch me there. Bye bitches.
Run.